Do y'all like game apps? I sure do, or did. I'm not even sure. Does anyone remember that feeling when you had your first smartphone and the first things you downloaded were game apps? For me personally, it feels very nostalgic, like I weren't that much on my phone and the main thing I did was play some games. Seems so sweet. And I do remember the feeling when there were game trends in my class. Every week or month it would change, but all of the class or the majority of the class would play the same game. And if the game had levels, we would help each other out or talk about the game or compete with each other with these games. Maybe it wasn't very common experience, but also the positivity around the game apps were very high. Personally for me, but the last few years things changed. Obviously, I'm not a child anymore. I don't have the community feeling around the game apps, but that's changed years ago. But here I'm talking about the last few years, maybe the last 5 or so, because I still play game apps and they are still kind of fun. But now with every new app I download, it gets worse and worse. I'm talking about the experience in the game apps because the graphics are getting better and there are definitely more and more apps being produced out there, but there are some things that make the experience worse and worse. One of the things that I think of when I think of the game apps when it started to get popular, they used to have no ads or very little of them. And I think of the year 2014 when I'm saying this, the smartphones were getting better and the applications on them were so different and yet so similar to now. Mainly the game apps back in the day had less distractions that would make the game stop or would disconnect you emotionally from the game, but the game apps these days are not as emerging. First thing is that you cannot play most of the new game apps without ads. Like for example, the game apps that I not so long ago tried out, all 3 of them had you watch ads after beating a level. You must watch an ad or pay to avoid them, but I'm not even sure you can pay in every app to kind of have this freedom, which is crazy that ads are that unavoidable because who is offline anymore to avoid them? And even if you are, you may not have a chance to play the game because many rely on the internet. I wonder why. Also, some game apps are made in a way that you cannot beat a level without spending a few seconds on an ad. Another thing that I noticed is that I only saw on one app where you had to click a lot, that it had program GIFs with balloons going from top to bottom of the screen. Yes, they were not GIFs, but offers. I do believe the whole point is that you accidentally click and automatically pay for the stuff because it seems very possible if you are not careful or maybe it is to fool the kids. Either way, who knows for sure which is it. Both seem very possible. My third reason for why I think the game apps suck these days, there are too many things in them. If I want a simple app that is mindless and pointless, do that. There is no reason to put goals, challenges, festivals, and customization that is not related to the main game. And it sucks that many game apps these days are being created seems purely for monetization, thanks capitalism, and not as a passion projects. And the last thing for today is that I hate to see in these game apps the use of AI generated graphics. Like I haven't at least seen the whole game app graphics being created by AI, but seeing the special events or some not important aspect of the game, the main game being not human made thing, just makes it yucky and not as fun to play. Like there are no need to add these features to the game, so why rush it and generate it and not work on it? And also not to mention the impact that AI generated stuff has on the planet and how immorally most of the data got into AI systems in the first place. So to finish my rant, I am not even sure what this was. So my final statement, sure, there are good game apps out there, but they are overshadowed in a large sea of game apps on the App Store or Play Store. Hopefully it will change one day. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this type of content. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and like if you enjoyed it. And we will meet next time. Goodbye.